Hello everyone. So this video is for you to what you have to submit for the lab and will be description of for the lab one which you have already carried out in our last class. So first of all, there are two questions you have to answer. The first question is about capture screenshot demonstrating the successful installation of the software, including login, showcase the execution of select and describe commands on various tables of your rich database and your assumptions. So first of all, if you can see here for the lab, you can find a guide here and I have given you one template as well. So if you open the template, you have to fill this template as well. You have to write your name, your student ID, and for each questions how you have to submit it, it's also given here. Okay. So software installation. So some of you have asked me, you haven't taken any screenshot or anything to show that you have successfully installed it. So if you remember, we have used a command. We have used two commands here. We have used select version, and we also have used something called as show variables like version. So enter this command and show me the screenshot of it. One of them is enough. So I will suggest you to go for show variable like version and take a screenshot and post it here. Now successful login. So as we can see, as you have already have installed it, you will be also able to log in it. So how you can do it? So maybe you can access to command line client. You can see the enter of a password. I will enter my password here and you can see here I'm able to access it. Go to snipping tool again, new, take a screenshot of your file, copy and paste it here. Okay. So this is for first and second one for the select command. Select command which we have used only for the artist. So if you remember, we have used two commands here. We have said the first is that we have to select all the columns. So here we are selecting all the columns. Take a screenshot and post it here. So how you can do that? You will go to MySQL Workbench. We are able to access it. Now click on your very rich database because some of you might not be able to run the query. So make sure you are clicking on it so your SQL benchmark knows that this is a specific database you are referring to. Okay. So now we said the first step here is that we want to look at all the attributes of table called as an artist. So you can see here all the tables. So in case this is for the first one. Second, we want to look at only one, it can any of them, okay, and only one attribute. So you can select an attribute which you are interested into, artist ID from, take a screenshot, control, enter, and you'll be able to see the output, or you can click on execute option. Okay. This is for all, this is for one. In case if we want to look at more than one, you can also select first name. Each attribute will be separated by a comma, okay? And the last name. From artist. You can see that it only has selected only two attributes for me. So in case if I want to add more, I will add a comma and add the third attribute here. But make sure you're not adding a comma before from. Okay. So this is your question number. Okay, this is point number 3 for your lab one. You have to do this for all the tables. You have 5 tables here, same command you will run for customer, transaction, work, and customer artist. So let's say the customer artist. So let's say select all from customer artist int. It should be capital. Okay. Select is capital, from is capital, customer artist int is capital. So as we have mentioned that SQL is case insensitive, which means it will accept uppercase and lowercase, both of them. But as a best practice, we have to make sure that the clauses we are using, the table name we are using, should be capital in SQL. Customer, artist, and int. You can see here it is displaying all the records belong to customer, artist, int. So here you can select, as if we have only two attributes here, so you can select only one for this one. Okay, so you can try first all, one attribute and two attribute or three attributes. But I'm interested to see all, one and two at least. Three, if you want to test it, you can do it. That is optional. But these are required. But this is not only for artists. I want for all the tables we have it here. You can see here we have five of them. For five, all five, you have to do it. So I'm just giving you one example here. So let's say this is for customer artists. So you cannot take an entire screenshot of it, but you can export it. You can insert the record directly. You can see the grid as well. But I don't want you to show me all. Maybe you can show me the command itself. So in case if you want to show me this command, the last one, you can just move ahead and you can take a screenshot until here. So I can see the number of records. This is something I'm interested into, and I have to make sure you are running the correct command here. Okay. Some of the display and again the query itself. I'm highlighting for you. You do not have to highlight this for me. Okay. Take a, copy it and post it in your Word file. Fix it as you want. Okay. Same for other courses. Now it's done. Now for the describe, you have to do the describe for all the tables. Same like what I have mentioned here. So now what you have to do for the screenshot and assumption, screenshot will be the same which I have explained. For select, you will use describe and the table name. So you will not use describe table and the name. You will use only describe and table. So let's say it is artist. This is for the first table. Okay. So you can see six rows and it is giving you metadata or more information about the data itself. So we have fields, name, nationality, and date of birth. We do have types here. Null. So if you remember, I mentioned exercise one, nulls. So it's something which you have to consider. We said that it's not only primary key, which should not be null. Some of the columns which we think that should be required cannot be leave empty, should consider as a null. Primary key, default, and extra. We will discuss this further in week 2 regarding data type. But for you, what you have to do, what assumptions you have to make. So you have to look at each of the fields for each table. For example, artist ID, it says int. It means it's integer, a number. So you have to mention if you find any of the data type, it should be different. You have to mention that. So maybe you can look at, I will just give you one hint here, but you have to look at others as well. So for example, date of birth, it says decimal. So do you think the date of birth should be a decimal? So these are some of the assumptions you have to make and you have to tell me if it shouldn't be a decimal, what will be the correct data type. So let's say it should be a date. Okay. So this is what I want you to do in your assumption part for describe. Now you have to do the same for other tables also, all five tables. After that, we have question number 2. The question number 2 in lab 1, I have explained to you ERD diagram. So ERD diagram will create another video for you where I will explain this ERD diagram and you will be able to solve it. So if you go back to your lab 1, in lab 1 you will find this diagram. This is a view rich gallery diagram, which is mainly for the e-commerce where we have number of artists are there and these artists are selling their artwork. Okay, it can be a books, postcard, framing, prints, or it can be a painting and so on. Okay, so this is e-commerce website and this is an ERD diagram which we are following for our labs. So if you have seen the database which we have created consists of 5 tables. So these are the 5 tables we have to refer to. And what we call tables in database, you can see here we call them as an entities. So you have to identify how many entities we have, what are the primary keys, what are the foreign keys, and what are the relationship here. Okay, this is something which I have explained during the class, and whatever you have to remember, you have to mention that. Okay. Thank you.